I'm back with the homework for page 242, question number 23. So here are the answers so you can check those. That's A through D. This is E and F. And G and H. So go ahead and check those and see if you got those right. Now I'm going to work through those problems so that if you have any questions, hopefully this will answer your questions. So page 242, number 23, part A. Oh, the first thing I better do is write down that equation. I should have done that before I put this up there too. So 2NaOH, I'm going to drop the states because this is really not important for what we're doing. So there's our equation that we're going to be working with. So part A, how many moles of NaOCl will be produced from 5.73 moles of Cl2? So I start with my 5.73 moles of Cl2. Now this is already in moles, so I don't have to convert here. And if I look at this, I know that 1 mole of Cl2 will react to form 1 mole of NaOCl. Whoops. And they have asked me for moles, so I don't have to go any further. I can just multiply through, and this is simply 5.73 moles of NaOCl. For B, how many moles of sodium hydroxide will react to produce 13.7 moles of sodium chloride? So I start with my 13.7 moles of sodium chloride. Looking at my above reaction, nothing in front of the sodium chloride, so that's a 1. 1 mole of sodium chloride. I want sodium hydroxide, so 2 moles of sodium hydroxide. That cancels. I'm going to moles of sodium hydroxide, so I can stop there. I'm used to just going to grams so much that I forget that I can stop sometimes. So 13.7 times 2 is 27.4 moles of sodium hydroxide. For C, how many grams of water will be produced from 0.750 moles of NaOH react? So I start with my sodium hydroxide. Whoops, is that mole? That's moles, not grams. And I'm going to grams. So 0.75. When I look at my sodium hydroxide, it has a 2 in front of it, so that's 2 moles of sodium hydroxide. I am going to water, so there's nothing in front of it, so that's a 1 mole of water. And I want to go to grams, so I need to have the molar mass of water. So H2O, I have 2 times hydrogen, so 2 times 1.008 grams. Remember, we get that from our periodic table, plus 16 grams from our periodic table is 18.02 grams of water. So 1 mole of water is 18.02 grams of water. So when we multiply across the top and divide that by the bottom, we get 6.76 grams of water. Okay. For D, how many grams of chlorine gas must react to produce 6.70 moles of NaCl? So I start with 6.70 moles of NaCl. I look up here, nothing in front of the NaCl, so that's 1 mole. I want to convert to chlorine gas, nothing in front of that, so that's also 1 mole. And I am after the mass of chlorine. So I have to have 1 mole of chlorine down here, and I have to know the molar mass. So 2 chlorine, so 2 times 35.45 grams. And that ends up being 70.90 grams of chlorine gas. So 70.90 grams chlorine gas equals 475 grams chlorine. For E, whoops, sorry if you didn't see all that, guys. I'll scooch it up so I don't run out of space again. All right, for E, the problem is, what mass of NaOCl will be produced when 65.5 grams of NaOH react? So we start with our NaOH, 65.5 grams of NaOH. But I have to convert to moles, so I need to know my molar mass, which I have not calculated yet. So let's do that down here. When I look it up on my periodic table, sodium is 22.99 grams, oxygen 16.00 grams, and hydrogen is 1.008 grams. When I add those all together, I get 40.00 grams of sodium hydroxide. So 40.00 grams NaOH is 1 mole of NaOH. That cancels. I can now go over to my NaOCl. So if I look back up at my equation, a 2 in front of NaOH, nothing in front of NaOCl. So I put a 2 moles of NaOH on the bottom, 1 mole of NaOCl. But I believe I'm looking for mass of NaOCl. So we need a molar mass. So 1 mole of NaOCl. This is my molar mass sandwich. Molar mass, the meat of the mole ratio in the middle. Down here, I'll calculate that molar mass, NaOCl. My sodium, 22.99 grams. My oxygen, 16 grams. Oh, I gotta look up my chlorine, which is 35.45 grams from my periodic table, for a total of 74.44 grams of NaOCl. So I write that here. And when I do the calculation here, I should end up with 60.9 grams of NaOCl. that is my answer. Okay, now going on to F. How many grams of NaOH will react with 37.5 grams of Cl2? So I start out with my 37.5 grams of Cl2. I'm in grams, so I have to go to molar mass, but I calculated that in D, so that will make things easier. So that is 70.90 grams of Cl2 is in 1 mole of Cl2. That cancels. Now I want to go from chlorine to sodium hydroxide. So if I look up here, chlorine 1, sodium hydroxide 2. So my mole ratio is 1 mole of chlorine to 2 moles NaOH. That cancels. But I want my mass of my NaOH, so I go 1 mole of NaOH, that cancels, and up here I calculated the molar mass of 40. And so when I multiply across the top, divide that by the bottom, I end up with 42.3 grams of NaOH. All right, I need another paper for the last 2 problems. So for G, the question is, what is the theoretical yield of sodium chloride in grams in this reaction if 100 grams of sodium hydroxide react? So I'm going to take 100 grams of sodium hydroxide, correct? Yes. Now, got to convert to moles, and we found this in a previous problem that 40 grams of sodium hydroxide is 1 mole of sodium hydroxide. If we look back to our equation, we're going from sodium hydroxide to sodium chloride. So 2 in from the sodium hydroxide, 1 there. So 2 moles of sodium hydroxide to 1 mole of sodium chloride for my mole ratio. I'm making my molar mass sandwich here, molar mass, molar ratio, molar mass. 1 mole of sodium chloride is 58.44 grams of NaCl. Oh, looks like we haven't calculated this one before, so I'll do that down here. So I got that from the fact that NaCl, sodium, is 22.99 grams from our periodic table, and chlorine is 35.45 grams for a total of 58.44 grams of NaCl. Everything cancels nicely, so my answer is 73.05 grams of NaCl. And finally, yay, H. If instead of the theoretical yield from question G, you measured 68.5 grams of NaCl, what is the percent yield? So again, percent yield equals actual yield over theoretical yield times 100%. That is 68.45 grams over 73.05 grams times 100%. When I do the math, I end up with 93.70% as my answer. And I don't know if you hear my husband in the background, but it is time to eat. So I'm going to go eat. And I hope you also are happy to be done with this and go have a snack or lunch or dinner or whatever time it is. So, and I'll be back with your worksheet answers. I'll probably have those posted by Monday, maybe even earlier. We'll see what happens. So I'll see you later. We do have a test coming up, so make sure you get all this done and you understand it. And if you have questions, text, call me, email me, or put the questions right in the YouTube videos under the comment because others may have the same questions. So I'll see you later. Bye.